Today we will be looking at themes in visual arts for your CSEC Journal. Why the thematic approach? So why should you use a theme? So what is a theme? Themes help you set boundaries for your thinking, writing, and artistic creations in your journal. So what is a boundary? It is something which indicates the limits of a process, planned, or thing. No boundaries in your art can lead to vague misinterpretation, unsuitable results, delays, and even anxiety on your part as an artist. If you have boundaries, this allows you to be more precise and helps you to avoid obscurity in your work. It is now time for you to find your theme. What is a theme? A theme is an intended idea used to create meaningful artwork. An artist needs to find a theme or topic with which they have a strong personal link or connection, right? Your theme can be wide-ranging and it covers multiple subject matter. Example, nature. It can be about man-made. So it can be about fashion. It can be about beauty, right? There's so many things it can be about. You should have a personal connection to your theme, right? What do you find interesting? For me, I find nature interesting. So what do you find interesting? 2, what do you find fascinating? So for me, I find flowers, right? I'm fascinated by flowers or plants. 3, what are you passionate about? I am passionate about using plants in my work, incorporating organic and recycled material, right? So what are you passionate about? Examples of themes. So the following are examples of themes that you can tweak, and these are just things that you can look at and create your own themes, but these are all possibilities, right? Theme 1, metamorphosis, which means change, right? So you can look at the life cycles, like a life cycle of a butterfly, right? From how you can look at change, can be about yourself, modification, transformation, mutation, right? Number 2, Caribbean music. So you can look at types of instrument. You have your drums, you have your triangle, you have your guitar. There's so many instruments. Then you have genres of music. So we have reggae, soca, calypso. What else do we have? A whole range, right? Then we can look at music and emotion. So how does that make you feel, right? Happy, sad, what? So look at the different emotions, human emotions. Number 3, Caribbean dance. So we look at movement, rhythm, apparel. So what the different kind of costume that you wear, right? Styles of dance. Like you have your dancehall, you have your tango, right? Dance, and then dance and emotion again. Number 4, you have myths and legends. So ancient are stories, example, our Duppy stories in Jamaica or the Caribbean. We also have, the Anansi stories, Miss Lou, right? You can look at moral lessons that you learn from all these myths and legends. Quests, can do an artwork based on quests or journey, and also rituals, right? Number 5, we have nature versus technology. So we can look at the ecosystem, how we can improve the ecosystem using technology, right? You have biotechnology, how technology improve bio. We have man versus technology again. Remember you can do things where you fuse the human form with technology gadgets or things that helps man to function better. You have current issues, example, bioethics. Is it okay when they clone Dolly the sheep, right? Or if they want to clone humans, right? Think about all the possibilities, nature versus technology that you can infuse and create an artwork. Number 6, another theme that we can use is, of course, ourself. So myself, me, right? So you talk about your memories. In your art, you create works about your family. Create work about your heritage, your ethnicity. It can be a self-portrait. It can be about you. There's nobody that you know better than yourself, right? And so think about these things when you are something that's personal to you and that you have knowledge about when creating your artwork. Number 7, gender issues, right? You look at male, female, or the others in your artwork. You talk about the advantages or disadvantages. You can talk about your cultural roles, woman versus male, right? What's the cultural role, especially in the Caribbean? What is it that female should do? What is it that male should do? You can make your work about sexuality or gender in politics, right? As females, we're still struggling to be CEOs or to break the glass ceilings. You can do works about that. Number 8, you can look at scale. So magnify something, right? So you zoom into it. You can talk about the proportion of something. You can talk about the space, positive and negative, right? You can talk about the color, the texture, right? What's the difference? Create artworks that deal with all those dynamics. Choose one and create your work based on one idea. Another theme is other worlds, right? At present, we are living in a virtual world because of COVID. Mostly, we have to be online. So you can do your artwork about your virtual world. You can do it about augmented reality, which is a concept, and they want to develop it more. You have extraterrestrial. You can talk about microscopic world, right? What's going on, like with the different viruses, COVID, right? Create works about that. Our flus and viruses and bacteria. You can create works about your imagination, what is happening, what you think will happen, what you hope to happen, right? Use your imagination. You can talk about the underwater. There's so many different areas that you can talk about in your work. Illustrate using your artwork. Another theme to look at is our Caribbean birds. You can look at the life cycles, you can look at the types, you can look at the symbolism, you can look at our cultural association with birds, right? So in Jamaica, our national bird is the hummingbird. So you can look at what is your national bird in your specific country, or a bird that you are really passionate or you are interested in finding more, learning about, right? Patu, right? We have our patu, our drunkrow, chicken, peacock, flamingo birds, right? Parrots, something that you are passionate about, and then you create your artwork based on those. Peace dove, ducks, goose, Guinean chick. Another interesting theme is your senses, right? You can create artwork that are more tactile, right? So that have texture to them. It can be visual or it can be simulated or actual, right? Color, look at the color. Sound, create work that have to do with sound. You can create works that have scent that you can taste, right? Works that appeals to alternative senses, right? Be creative. Here we look at cryptography, right? So art as code. Hidden or vault, right? So you can create works that have hidden meaning in there. So works that have more mathematical. You use mathematics, right? You have symbols. You can infuse symbols into your work, or you can create works about signs, or you can create a work based on writing or text, just using text. Your words, the words, especially now. What is it that you want to put down? What is it that you want to say? Right, where you can layer your words to create your works. And then another theme we can use, if you are religious, you can, or if you believe in God, you can create your work based on the creation, the Holy Spirit. You can talk about the destruction, judgment, the role of religion in society, or you can talk about the metaphysics, right? How is religion helping you to cope? So you can use your art to help you either heal from a trauma or trying to be closer to God. Alright, now let's talk about our Caribbean food. Our ackee and saltfish in Jamaica, right? We have curry goat, right? We have rice and peas and chicken or fried chicken or jerk chicken, jerk pork, steamed fish, bami and fried fish, breadfruit, fried breadfruit, roast breadfruit, steamed breadfruit, candy breadfruit. So what about the Caribbean food you want to illustrate in your artwork? Can be the colors, the reds, the blues, the greens, the yellows, right? types of foods: fries, steam, boil, jerk, smoke. Then the texture of the food, all those beautiful textures. Then the composition of our food, right? You can also focus on graphics. So the lines, how you use your lines in your artwork, the color and composition in your artwork, advertisement, that way, mass media, manipulation of your imagery in your artwork. You can talk about reality versus graphic representation in your artwork, right? You can look at the human anatomy, the body, the Caribbean body, muscles, bone, the skin, weight, issues. What is it about weight in the Caribbean you can talk about in your work, right? How we view person who are overweight, are too skinny, are too bony, or who bleach with skin, like in Jamaica where they bleach skin, or some different countries where they have a more affinity for to bleach their skin to be lighter. What's the damage it's caused? Use your artwork to be proactive, to talk about these different things. Create your art pieces about your dreams. Your dreams. What is it that you dream? The meaning, unusual. It can be talking about imagery, surrealism. It can be about your subconscious self or your conscious self, right? Now let us illustrate our Caribbean dress, right? So you can talk about it. Surrealism, the style, the different styles from your dancehall, skimpy, your Bahamian shorts, right? Your madras shirt, tops, straw hat. Then the kinetic, you can use kinetic art, how we move in these costumes or these dresses in the Caribbean. Then also the imagery, you can look at the images. Now another theme you can convey in your art is emotion. So the different Caribbean expression, the emotional situations that cause these, right? Culture and emotions, right? Controlled, uncontrolled emotions. So pent up anger versus explosions. Then expressionism, like splashes and colors and more abstract art, right? Based on how you're feeling, what is COVID doing to you? How do you feel? Express those things in your artwork. Your cross and your splashes and your colors, and express your emotions in your artwork. As artists, we like to collect things. So another theme that we can talk uses collection. Group our things or people, or duplicate of objects. Objects in series, collections of houses, cars, shoes. Some person like to collect shoes, they like to collect dresses, different objects, right? And how the objects associate. What's the object association, right? Another theme is beauty versus grotesque. So you can more focus on beauty, or you can focus on the grotesque. Remember, what I find beautiful is not the same thing that you find beautiful, and what you find grotesque is not the same thing that I find grotesque. So you talk about the bizarre, piercing of nose ring, or Do you find that beautiful? Then you can create portraits based on those. If you are unnatural shapes, appearance, combination of forms are what you deem to be ugly, right? So there's different things to focus on. Can piercing, tattoos, all those shapes. We are small, we are medium, we are large, we are big, right? Are combinations of different forms. So it can be about objects, it can be about the figure. But what is it that you find beautiful? What is it that you find grotesque? And create your art based on what you have a connection to, what you find interesting. Your artwork can also focus on the wedding. Like as little girls, you dream of one day how you want your wedding to be. So your work can be about engagement, the dress, cake, flowers. It can be about love, right? What is it that you are interested in? Your work can also be about the Caribbean architecture or Georgian architecture or the concrete jungle or wooden structures, right? So it's about exploring. You can talk about the interior, the exterior space. What about the lighting? Our houses are made more from cement and concrete, right? So what about that? How does lighting work with a cement or a concrete versus a wooden structure? Perspective, right? And also the structure itself, small, zinc roof, tile roof, slab, right? What is the structure itself made out of? The Caribbean has, our structures are more beautiful and they're vibrant, right? So colors can be a part, and the textures, all those things can be interesting in your art work. Then we can look at the Caribbean as a whole. Look at the Caribbean people, the fruits, music, art, culture, right? What is it about the Caribbean that fascinates you and interests you and pulls you in, or something that you just don't like about the Caribbean people? You don't like which foods you don't like? Or music that you don't like? Or art that you just don't appreciate? Or what is about the culture that turns you off, right? Now it is time for you to unpack your themes. Now that you have selected your theme, let us unpack it. 1. What are the mental images that pop in your mind as you think about your theme? So you're going to make a list of these ideas in order to understand your theme. So this is an example of all the things that I'm thinking about. The pops in your mind. Computer, because we have to be online. Music, dress, birds, celebration, home, fruits, right? Happy, sad, you go through all those different emotions. You want to dance, you want to paint, you want to breathe, inhale, exhale, right? So just jot them down. So 2, now it is time for me to choose one theme from the list to focus on, right? So you think about all these different things, but now it's time for you to choose one theme. So 3, you're going to think about what made you select this particular theme. What about it aroused your curiosity? So I choose nature, right? So what made me choose this particular theme, right? And what about it aroused my curiosity? What about nature caused me to choose it? Now we're going to look at what are the major issues embedded in your theme. So what in nature? What are the major issues that are embedded in my theme? So nature can go with plants or animals, right? But I'm going with flora. So plants, especially Caribbean flowers, right? So number 5, now it is time for you to define and describe your theme as you want us to see it, the viewer. How do you want the viewer to see your theme? So you have to define and describe your theme. So you know you need to do some research. So for me, this would be my title. So I will examine Caribbean flowers through visual arts, right? Now, how do you want to convey your artistic and your concerns, your perceptions, and your feelings about your theme? So now it is time for you to develop your ideas into your artworks, right? So idea development, from your list, you're going to select 10 ideas that you want to explore, and then you're going to create some thumbnails, sketches of them. So select the 10 ideas. Remember all the ideas that pops into your head? You're going to select 10 and explore and create some thumbnails. So now it's time for you to, okay, I am looking at the Caribbean flower. So now it's time for me to start to draw those. So think about 10 ideas I want to explore about the flower. Like bees are attracted to the sunflower or to the hibiscus or to the shrimp plant, right? Your focus. Now you're going to create a thumbnail sketch. Make sure you draw them in. Get your sketchbook ready, right? Don't draw them on any notebook. You don't want any lines. You want either a blank leaf, sketchbook, scrapbook, something with a white, preferably white background. Cartridge paper, and you do at least 10 sketch, but if you can do 50, the more better. You get the ideas out there. Sketch as many, up to 50 if you can, but at least 10 to figure out your best 10, and then you pull from those 50 your best 10 ideas to turn into your 10 pieces. So you can break down your ideas into people, objects, place, activities. So as you are developing your artworks, make sure you jot down short reflective statements, right? So you're going to jot down little anything that's going on, the colors. If you decide to do this but that's not working, just jot down little reflective statement. What's working, what's not working, what you need improvement on, what you need assistance from the teacher with, right? So now you're going to examine your sketches, and then you're going to make decision about the medium or media and your technique that is best to explore your ideas. So previously you jot down, you do like little sample, and you try to say, okay, I want to collage, or I want to weave, or I want to paint, or I want to draw, or you can use pastel, oil paint. There's so many different mediums and techniques. Stippling, cross hatching, what is it? Pointillism. Right? So as you can see, these are 5 of my ideas. So the first one, it's like a printing, like a cutout, where you decide to create stencil. You can print it. So you can create stencil where you remove areas to get different colors, flat areas. You can use acrylic paint, oil paint, water paint. Right? Just be careful with oil paint. If you have any allergies, it's strong. You can use oil or chalk pastel to do drawings, or you can do prints again. You can do eco printing or other block printing, screen printing, right? Lithograph. And then we can also do pencil drawings. We just focus on your 2Ds, 2B, pencil, 2, 4, 6, right? You can also use colored pencils, different crayons. You can experiment with fabric. You can experiment with dyes. So you can do samples. So after you think about your different ideas, now you're going to think about what color scheme best suits your ideas. So after you create the little samples, you see which one you like. So what color scheme is it? You want it with warm colors, or more with cool colors, or you want to have it more triadic, or you want to just focus on using your favorite colors and then using different tones or shades or tints of that color. So just experiment, be creative. Right? Do small little thumbnail sketches, do swatches of the colors, which colors work best, right? So if you want it to be like a good complementary color, like your red versus your green, right? You move around the colors and you experiment. Size and the composition you want to use. So what type of style you want it? You want it to be more pop art? You want it to be abstract expressionism? You want it to be more surrealism, more fantasy, more dreamlike? You want it to be more cubist, so it's more, geometric? You want to focus on shapes or organic, right? Size. So for size, remember, for your final piece, you want it on 1 sheet of cartridge paper. So try to stay within CSEC requirements or CSEC guidelines. Like for your thumbnail sketch, you just need a little erase and you do a sketch. Then for your journal, you can do it on one sheet of paper, or you can do it large. Take a photograph, then insert your photograph into your journal, right? But for the final piece, you want it to be on a large one sheet of cartridge paper. Some person work on half a sheet, but it's best you work on one sheet of cartridge paper and then you can adjust, right? It's easier to go smaller than it is to go larger. So if you have a larger sheet of paper, you can work and manipulate it more than you have a small piece of paper, then you have to add size to it. So number 7, it is time for you to research your chosen artist. So you can do that before you start to do the sketch, but make sure you research your chosen artist, somebody who's going to have an idea of your artist that you're going to use. So if your expressive forms are drawing and painting, choose an artist that does painting, and you can choose one that does drawing in the style that you are interested in. So either the color that they use or the technique, right? So make sure the artist is relevant to your artwork, to your interests, or anything that you are fascinated. Somebody could be an artist who do caricatures or do more surrealist art, like Colin Garland, right? Or if they do, so choose based on your interests. So now it is time for you to compare and contrast your ideas with that of your chosen artist. So after you choose your artist, then you have to choose one of your piece where you're going to compare it with one of the artist's piece. You're going to do a comparative analysis, right? Sheshe, thank you, gracias.